There. All right. So this card tonight it's called a box in a card, and you might have seen them. The only thing I haven't quite figured out is how do you mail it? I don't think it's a mailing kind of card. I think it's a handing kind of card. So let me switch out and get the big shot camera up there and not me. And then I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get to work. All right. So, let's turn that on. Well, those of you that have been following my serger plight, I am recently learning, I'm teaching myself how to use a serger, and I made my first, I'm making my grandchildren outfits, and I made my first pair of pants today, and they are a hit. So I'm excited. And it really was great. I really like it. I was really happy. Okay, so back to card making. I'm going to be using Better Together. This is going to be a birthday card, which I know sounds super crazy. It is the 8th of December, but we still have people with birthdays in December. So I'm going to use this one because I love the font on this happy birthday. All right, so that's the card, the stamps that I'm using. These guys are all ready to go. And I'm going to use my cherry cobbler. So what's going to happen is I didn't make a full sample. I just made a couple of little pieces, and then I'll show it to you. So basically, it's this card, this little cutout, and then a box sits in here, right? Okay. So you have, these will be on the blog along with a recording, so you can download these and print them out. This is the simple sketch for the card. So here's the card. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we're going to cut this piece out, and I'll show you how. I need a 2-inch circle, and I'm using my stitched layers. I love these. Stitch shapes, not layers, stitch shapes. Use these all the time. And then I need a 5 1/4 by 2 1/4 just to add a little something down here. Okay? All right, so that's the card. That's the easy part. Then we got to make the box. So I'm going to put the card together first. And the card I'm going to do out of the cherry cobbler, the card base. So let me move this over. And you might notice these little pieces here. I'm using the old-fashioned birthday paper. That's where the stripes came from. And I just really like these cakes, but they're kind of a big design to go on a card. So again, using my stitch shapes, I took this square and I just picked out some of the birthday cakes that I wanted, and that's going to go on my box when I get to it. So we'll get to those in a minute. We'll move those right up there. All right, first things first is our card, and you're going to need your trimmer. So now I've done my card at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I scored down the middle. And now I'm going to fold it in half, and I want my first cut, and you can tell that right here. My first cut is going to be at 1 inch over to here. All right, so my card 5 1/2. So if I slide my card over to my trimmer to 4 1/2, and then I bring this down, and you also notice there are, let me do it with a white background so you can see it. See, you've got your marks on here. So I'm going to come down to 1 1/2 because I want my 1 1/2 deep. All right, so I'm going to come down to 1 1/2. With my trimmer. And then I'm going to slide this over. I want this 2 inches wide. All right, so I'm at 4 1/2 right now. So I'm going to go to 3 1/2 and 2 1/2, which sounds super crazy, but that means that the space between the last cut and this cut is going to be 2 inches. And again, I'm at 1 1/2. I'm just going to go back up. All right, so that's fine. It didn't cut through both sides. So depending on how steady your hand is, you can take your snips and just go right in that guide that's right there. Or you can flip the card over and do it on the other side, but the guide's right there. And then I'm going to bring this in. And remember, this is 1.5 deep, so 4 1/4 is where I'm starting. So I'm going to go to 3 1/4. That's 1 inch. And then I have to, this is the mathiest thing I've ever done. And then I have to do another half. So I'm going to go to 2 3/4. And then I'm going to bring this, and I don't want to cut, I only want to cut right in here, right across there. All right. So there, I have taken out that little box in the middle, and I can use my snips to get it. And then I can open this up. And I could put this in the, and flip it over in the trimmer. I'm going to be super brave and use my scissors and say that this is the back. You can also, if you're an X-Acto knife person, you could use that. I am not. Okay, so there my little piece is ready to hold the box. All right, that's the mathiest thing you have to do, I promise. All right, so then you need the piece that's going to go here. That is 5 1/4 by 2 1/4, and I'm using the stripe. This is on the other side of the balloons. I could use the balloons if I wanted. I'm going to put this down so I don't lose it, and it's there, because I got a lot of little moving parts here. So I'm going to use my snail. I could have embossed this. I could have put another stamp there. It's just to decorate the front of the card. So whatever you're feeling like is going to go here. Okay. And then the next piece on the card is the 2 inch with the stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and do that too. I have a piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to stamp these two. I may hold off on the star till after I cut it out so I can position it where I want it. I could cut it out first. I think it's harder to stamp and not get on the stitching sometimes when you don't have a lot of excess room. So I like to stamp first and then cut. So stamp you. Love that one. And again, I'm going to hold off on the star until I cut this and see where it goes. So now we're going to move over to the other camera, which you can see. And we're on our big shot. And I'm going to pop this in, centering that right where I want it. And then run it on through. All right. And then we're going to come back. So that's ready. And now I'm going to put the star up here, but kind of off to one side a little bit. All right, so there's my happy birthday. That's ready to go on the front of the card. I'm going to grab myself some dimensionals. And now I'm ready to play with the box. Okay, so this is going to go right here. There, my card's good, except it has a hole in the middle. Kelly, how are you? I see that you're on Facebook. Anybody else there? I know it's a nice, snowy, quiet night, but I hope some people are watching us. Okay, so now I need my scoring, simple score. I'm going to move my plate out of the way. Move you guys over here. All right, now we're ready to play. So we're going to start with a 6 by 6. And we're going to look at these directions. Hey, Shelly. Everybody's got snow tonight except me. And I'm going to do it out of the cherry cobbler first, but I could do it out of the pattern paper. Remember, these are 6 by 6, but I'm going to do, well, I've cut these to 6 by 6. So this piece is 6 by 6, and it wants me to score at 2 on all 4 sides. So I'm going to go to 2 inches, and then 4, because 2 plus 2 is 4, and then spin, and then 2, and 4. All right. Then I'm going to take my bone holder and crease all of these in. And then to make it a box that's not really hard to deal with, see where it tells you to snip, 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 snip on this side and this side, not everywhere, just these 2 sides. I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to go right down that line I just scored till I get to the other one. If you hate your cutting, you can use your trimmer. You just need to cut down, flip, and then cut the other side. All right. Now it's time for some tear tape. But first, let's put this together so we can see what it looks like. I'm going to bring this up. These 2 pieces are going to fold in. These 2 pieces are going to fold in. And then this will come up and this will come up. All right? Okay. So now, remember I said I had these little pieces cut? They're going to go on these edges. Now, you can put them on now, which is easier, yet more difficult, because you have to make sure that you get them in the right place. I'm going to do that and then go back and reinforce them. You can do it when it's all assembled. It's up to you. But I'm going to be brave and do it this way. Just at least get them on here so I get an idea of what my box is going to look like. And you want it to come down to the bottom, but centered. If I put it all the way up here, this is going to have a cover on it and it's going to hide. All right, so there's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. And the reason this works a little bit better, yes, I could have used pattern paper. This will make it a sturdier box by using the cardstock. Okay, so there's my 4. So when you open this up, you can see where they go, and you can come in and reinforce your adhesive if you want a little bit more. Now that you kind of know where you want them, and which is upside down and which is downside up. And then I'm going to put you right there. Same thing with this one. Doo-doo-doo. Isn't the suspense killing you? What is this going to look like? That's the whole reason I did this, just to get tension going. Teasing. All right, 1 more. All righty. Now I'm ready to pull out my tear tape. Tear and tape. I call it tear tape all the time. It's tear and tape. And this time, these are the ones that are going to get the tape, the ones that fold in. So this one, this one, this one, and this one, the ones that don't have pictures on them, get tape on them. And you can go diagonally. One more, okay? All right, So here we go. We are ready to assemble the box, except that I have a bunch of tape stuck to my finger. Hold on. How are we doing out there on Facebook? Everybody okay? Give me some hearts so I know you're there. Feel like I'm all by myself here. Alrighty, so now we go all the way around. All that's off. So now bring this up and bring it in and attach. Oh, good, you're there. Phew. Same thing over here. And you, and you. And last but not least, there you go. There is the base of our box. Now, if you need to do a little touch up in here, you can. You know, if you see a place where, gee, that could use a little bit more adhesive. But there's your box, ready to go. All right, so let's test it before we get to the cover. This is going to slide down in here. Now, if measuring is perfect, you're good. You can see this one's a little tight. So it's really easy to just come up and take a little trim. You don't want too much off because you want it to stay, but this is a little tight. So I'm gonna just take just a whisker off of this. Kind of like if you were working with wood, you'd grab the planer and just take, like I would know. But it's just a little tight, so you need to get it in there. All right, and now test your box. And now it's a perfect fit, which is great, but I need a cover. Okay, so come back to your directions. It's 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. Okay, and you're going to score at 1/2. Let me show you. That's doing a lot of math again. So if you just slide it over so this edge is at the 1/2 mark, and then you're going to score at the 1, and bring this to 3 1/2 on this side and score at 3. I hope I haven't confused you completely, but I want a 1/2 inch in, and sometimes it's easier to go with whole numbers, at least for me it is, than trying to figure out exactly where I'm supposed to be. All right, so now I have all 4 edges scored, and now I'm going to do the same snippy thing. I'm going to snip on this side into the score, and then flip it, and on this side into the score. All right, and then fold, bone folder, bone folder. There. So now we go all the way around. And then the same thing, magic of television, I have one I already did. You're going to put your tape on those 4 corners. Okay? Hey, Sharon, Shannon, I'm glad you're here. It is a Friday night, so you don't have to get up early. I got it. I was like, wait, how is she doing that? Some of you have to get up super early. Okay, so then I take those 4 pieces off, right? And the same thing, tuck it in and fold. Tuck this in and seal and tuck. And now I've made a cover for my little gift box, right? And now if I tuck all my pieces in, get in there, there's my box. And it holds it right in place. See, it kind of comes a little over my cake, but it's okay. All right. Now, I used my bow builder and I created a little bow that's going to go right on top. And then I'm going to use a dimensional, pop that right in the middle. And put, I don't like the way this shows. Hold on, I'm fussy. My dimensional is going to show on the edges and I don't want it. I could have used a small, one of the minis and I wouldn't have had that issue. Or cut it in half before I put it on, but no, that would have been way too simple. And maybe he'll go this way. All right. All right, so let's get this stuff out of the way so you can actually see what it looks like. So here's our card. And here is our gift box. Isn't that cute? And so different, right? I have seen some, and I've looked at some directions, and they seemed really complicated, so I hope this isn't too bad. I will give you, let me bring it over here so that you can now, let me do some changing of our camera angles. Stop this, swap this. There, now you get me. And if I bring my chair back, and I don't fall down, now we have this super cute, really dimensional, sit on the table kind of card. And the box actually works. You know, like you could put things down inside the box. So now, as I'm thinking about this, and I wanted this to be birthday, wouldn't this be really cute as Santa? And this is a chimney, and then this is the house. So think about what you would use to make that actually happen. If you took your embossing folder with your bricks, right? Add a little bit of, I'm pulling out all this stuff in the drawer here. Add some embossing folders, some embossing paste, so it looks like snow all around the top, right? You don't need the cover this time. You just need the box. Then let me go over here in the closet. Then this is probably my favorite stamp set, and this is retiring too, Mr. Santa Suit. And you can have Santa climbing into the chimney, this guy, this one, and you can just dress him. Or you could have him coming out of the chimney, right? Some packages. And then this would be super cute to sit on your fireplace. So even though I wanted it to be a birthday one tonight, as I was looking at it, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this would be so cute as Santa in the chimney. Maybe because I spend a lot of time during the day with a 2-year-old who's going to implode before December 25th. But and so Santa's on my mind. Well, thanks so much for coming, you guys. This was fun. We're going to do another one tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's wrapping paper. And then Sunday's the surprise. Right? Great on the kids' table. Absolutely. All right, you guys. I'm thrilled that you're here. Have a really great weekend. Be safe, those of you that are buried in snow that aren't normally. Stay home, craft, eat snacks, make Christmas cookies, and I will see you all soon. Tomorrow night. Bye. Hey, Trish. Thank you.